Did you see the guy on Tucker Carlson recently who was giving a revisionist history of?
Was it Cooper? Was that his name?
I don't remember his name.
I think so.
I had never heard of him. Tucker
Yeah.
Carlson introduced, and of course we're talking about Tucker Carlson, who I think is crazy insane about a lot of things. But he introduced him as like the most important historian of blah, blah, blah. And this guy, I'm just paraphrasing like mad, but like, no, you got it all wrong. Hitler was the good guy and Churchill was the bad guy. Now, you would agree that's insane, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because there are people in this world who think that that's who you are.
I
do. You know I'm not one of those people.
I do
but I'm
understand
just saying,
that.
like, when you're not fully on the woke train, you are somehow just thrown all the way across the field into that bin. That's what bothers me about the way people react to you. It's like, and me.
I have some objections to it too.
Yeah, and me. You know, it's like it's just
how's that going for you?
So
because
childish.
You've been
it's so naive and childish.
You've been standing up to the woke mob more and more.
Of course.
And so what's been the consequence? Of course. Not many people are doing that.
No, you're right. Well, the consequence is some people left the building. I can't give an estimate, and I don't care, and I don't miss them. Other people joined. Like, there's a lot of people in this country who are tired of the hate and the hating.
You've been standing up to the woke mob more and more.
Of course.
And so what's been the consequence? Of course. Not many people are doing that.
No, you're right. Well, the consequence is some people left the building. I can't give an estimate, and I don't care, and I don't miss them. Other people joined. Like, there's a lot of people in this country who are tired of the hate and the hating, and I am one of them. I don't want to hate half the country, and I don't hate half the country. I would never vote for Trump, and I think he's an abomination. And Kamala, do I have to love everything? No. And it's fine. And I thought she was great last night, and I can't be more thrilled that I would put my money on that she's going to win the election. But I don't hold my tongue about what is insane about the other side, because it's not nearly as threatening as not conceding elections, which Trump does not do. So that's where I am on that. But I also understand that Trump, I think, will go away after this. I think he's kind of finally reached his Joe McCarthy stage where it's like people are tired of it. It just took longer. But Trumpism won't go away. And I would define Trumpism as a fear of the insanity of the far left, which is not completely unjustified. And therefore, anyone is better than that. And Trump proves it because he is that anyone. If he's okay, if he, in all his monstrosity, is still better than what you fear about the left, that's a problem the left has to deal with. It would be so easy. This thing I just mentioned about Colombia, where they were saying we want to eradicate the United States as it is. How about pick some Democratic politician, pick that as your Sister Soldier moment. Remember Sister Soldier? That's what Clinton, he made a thing about a rapper who had said, we should take a week out and just kill white people. Now, no one was...
It'd take longer than a week.
It would take... Exactly. But she said...
She's just not committed to the task.
She was being reasonable. She said, let's take a week. Okay. And nobody really took this seriously. He purposely picked on that. And someone could do that. Does anybody think most kids in America want to eradicate America? Of course not. But just pick out something to signal to the middle of this country, we're not as crazy as the super crazies on the far left. Just pick it. That's a Sister Soldier moment. We don't want to eradicate America. Okay? So Trumpism they will find someone. They will find another Trump. It's not really just him. As long as there's things that scare them about the things you've gotten in trouble with, gender, and the hysterics about racism, not that it isn't a real thing, but all this, freedom of speech issues, parenting issues, all these things that really scare them. And again, not completely without justification.
Well, there's plenty of reason to be scared of the radical left.
That's what I'm saying. Until you take care of that problem, they will always come up with a Trump. That's it.
I spent 5 years.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, it kind of do make sense, bro.
Bro, but that's their whole policies for the left. That's all they run off
But
of.
that's
What else? If
their policies is the reason
everybody want to go to
we
the right.
vote and we put on the Trump MAGA hat.
But what policies after this election, what they're going to push? What's going to be their agenda?
That's his point right there.
They're not going. It's going to be the same thing.
They're saying he's saying that they're always going to find the Trump.
It's going to be the same.
That woke stuff.
They're going to keep the woke stuff.
Exactly.
That's not going to change.
And they're going to find another Trump because of that.
I think that's a fact.
That's not a bad take.
I think that's a fact.
No, but I'm just saying the left always going to be like
The
that.
way
So
he
how they going to
described,
change
the way
it?
he described,
He said it needs to change. Like that's
There's not going to be no change though.
He's not talking about changing it. He's talking about the reason that he feel like, in his opinion, Trump isn't just like a super great candidate. That's why people are getting him. It's because of the far left and the woke ideologies. People are like, I don't rock with that at all. So no matter who's on the right, I'm going to vote for him.
Did you hear how he described Trumpism? It really didn't sound like it was that bad of a thing. It's like it's just people having fear of the stuff they're pushing on the left.
It just sounds like the left and the right to me.
I don't think. Well, basically, when he says Trumpism, I think that might be a pretty valid mindset to have. A lot of that stuff they push on the left,
It's outrageous.
and the wokeness, it's not hard to be against that.
It's
It's really not.
It's not.
Well,
Like
for
the
some
stuff
people.
with the children and
They feel like that about the right. That's why I'm
women's
saying
rights.
like.
But that's why they're talking about what, like, it started off the conversation. Remember, because we even reacted to Bill Maher a bunch of times when he would have takes that typically people on the left wouldn't say. So probably Steph Curry wouldn't even say, or Steve Kerr, even them, who don't seem like they're so far left. And he's saying like everybody on the left, like I said it before too, everybody on the left ain't just all with all that. That's what he's also saying also. And he's saying the people who have left him went to the right is because the Trump.
Yeah, it's just because both
Trumpism.
sides are both basically pushing like the bad stuff that both sides do. So that's more like the light is shined upon that. So then the people are just identifying this with people on the left and this what the people on the right do. When it could just be like a middle ground for both, and it just be like, well, we got these policies and y'all got these policies, and let's leave it at that. Let's not demonize each other.
Yeah,
but that's not happening.
It's not.
So,
and it's like, I think that's what he's trying to do. Basically, like, he's saying like he don't agree with the far left stuff, but he still does agree with the Democratic Party's probably values. So that's why
the values before we was born. Maybe.
Yeah, because that's what Joe Rogan also said. He was like, he used to be on the left, and then now it's gone so far with this extreme stuff. He don't know what the left is anymore.
So
That's it.
I spent 5 years working with Democrats, trying to pull them to the center. And I had a lot of behind-the-scenes conversations with people, virtually none of them public, because virtually no one would talk to me publicly.
We're talking about politicians?
Yes, and many of them. And I asked them all, on the Democrat side, I asked them all the same question, purposefully. And I asked this to RFK too. When does the left go too far? Because obviously the left can go too far. And none of them would answer. And so,
Really?
Not one. Dead serious.
In private?
Excellent point.
In private as well.
Come
Yeah.
on.
No, I'm telling you the truth. And
I know some people who would answer that.
Well, look, it's also, I stopped doing a fair bit of that about a year and a half ago. And things have changed. There are more people on the moderate Democrat side who are willing to draw a line with regard to the radical leftists, but they're still not very good at defining it. So they'd reverse the question and ask me, like, when do you think they go too far? And I thought that was simple. It's like equality of outcome. And the universal response to that was always the same. Oh, they don't really mean that.
Well,
it's like, they do.
To be fair,
Literally,
it is more complicated than just that. Equality, meaning equality of outcome, I believe in that too. Equity is what they changed it to, a lot of people on the far left, and Biden went along with all of it, means no, some people started out not from the same place, so we should make an effort to redress that. I believe in some of that theoretically, and
woke.
some of it in how you would put it into practice. You can't just say, okay, let's, some people weren't even at the starting gate for the first 350 years, and now go. Of course, there's going to be remedial, I think, things that we can do, and we're doing many of them. We're doing some of them anyway. But do I think it means we should, make it that medical school is not something that you can only get into completely by merit? No, because no one wants a doctor who got there by affirmative action.
Yes.
Right, but you would count what I said to
wanna
be
see what
valid,
Jordan
right?
says
That
about that.
you can't say if you started 300 years late, we expect you to be.
I guess this is one of the things that probably tilts me in the more conservative direction, and partly as a social scientist, is that well-meaning interventions seldom have the outcome that's designed.
Correct.
So even and it's really a
I
radical
would agree.
problem. Okay, so the historical solution to the problem of unequal distribution of, say, even of opportunity is that everyone is treated the same under the law, regardless of anything, regardless of wealth, regardless of race,
Right.
age, status. It's the same. Now, obviously, there's elements of that appear unjust. So if you make $1 million a year and you get a $1,000 fine for speeding, that's a lot different than a $1,000 fine for someone who makes $12,000 a year. And so then you might say, well, maybe your fine should be income adjusted. Okay, but the problem with that is like, okay, you're differentially privileged with regards to your wealth.
That
Hey, bro.
right there.
Jordan Peterson is spitting, bro.
It's
he,
different.
He always keeps it real.
This is definitely a very interesting conversation
He's
because
so
even Bill Maher
smart.
making some points.
Like dark skin nigga privilege, bro.
He do.
Wow.
He do.
Why you had to do that, bro?
It's
The light skinned nigga with the color eyes saying that, bro.
Some people get more pussy than other people.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a privilege. I'm sorry for
Everything,
using that word, I'm sorry.
in every way, the thing he said that really,
That's crazy.
in every way that we're different,
privileged,
someone
you
has
gotta
Hey,
come
bro.
out.
Hey, bro. If somebody bring that shit up to me, I'm finna abuse them with that shit right there. Say, nigga, you 6 foot though. So should I get taxed more than you? You got, buddy. You get the.
Well,
I don't know.
in certain situations, you be advantaged because you know if there's a time when somebody got crawl through a small hole, they gonna say, "Well, he's privileged, so he
Well,
should
buddy.
stay out."
Well, y'all privileged when y'all on the airplane.
No,
y'all
exactly,
get the seats.
exactly,
The seats actually
exactly.
are adjusted for
We
y'all
are.
niggas.
We
For
are.
me, I'm on
We
that
are.
there.
I will lodge.
We are.
It's a lot of shirts in the stone lodges.
Yeah.
A nigga with a double X might can't find something.
Yeah.
Or a nigga with a small.
Not fair. It's not fair.
It's
not fair.
It's always no size 12
Just
for me.
because
My
your
size
shirt it's a small and your shirt's always there, you should get taxed more.
Hey,
I mean, that would make sense. That would make sense. No, he's definitely
just
spitting.
abused him with that.
He's
Oh my
definitely
god.
spitting.
dog, that's why I had to go listen to this man in person.
White people got privilege, guys.
Really?
In certain
They feel like
situations.
niggas got more
In
privilege.
certain situations, black people have more privilege. In football, if you play receiver or you play corner,
Like,
hey,
nigga, you have a
got
shot to go to the league.
nigga.
When this white kid ain't like you right there, that little nigga might got more of a shot.
And we
to go
talking
to
about
the
who's
league.
gonna be a running back. I think Jamal might
So
be
then the black kid pointing at the white kid saying, "You got white privilege," but then the little
Hey, you know
Johnny
what's so
bald.
funny, bro? You know what's so funny,
I got
bro?
white
I remember in 8th grade, bro. In 8th grade, this dude came to our school, bro. We had just had basketball tryouts the day before. A couple of homies didn't make it. It was pretty good, you know. This dude came, right? The coach seen him in PE, first class the other day. PE, he seen him. He said, "Oh, we had trials." He said, "But you could be on the team." Everybody like, "What? They gonna stick on the team automatically?" And then we started playing basketball in PE. And that nigga was ass. And the coach came with him after he said, "Nah, no more. You can't play." Because he seen him play with us. He was trash. I mean trash. If he's on the team, I should be starting varsity point guard.
Oh
for
my
sure.
god,
That's
bro,
crazy.
that's hilarious.
That's
bro.
crazy.
That's an
Wow.
example. That's an
Hey,
example.
that is, man.
Hey, if,
Don't judge a book by its
if
cover.
Tanner came, he wouldn't have did that to Tanner. But you know, Jamal
bro.
comes.
Hey, bro, Jordan
Jamal's
Peterson-
getting the nod.
Like, I mean, it made sense, but he just debunked it.
He might be a problem.
Jordan Peterson just debunked DEI on another level, bro.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
He just debunked DEI and really just the rich should get taxed more. Like
Well,
simple,
it's-
just like this. Like
well,
he debunked it on another
I
level.
really like the way he broke it down. He made it very simple
was
to
crazy.
understand.
As much
It's
difference as we are, in every way we're different. Somebody is better than somebody at something. Someone has an advantage of something. That's why everybody is good at something.
Well,
Everybody
to be
is
honest
good
with
at
you,
something.
it's hard to say this, but like I always say, the best person need to be for the job. Like
Yeah,
in
that's
sports.
damn, yeah.
That's the hardest shit. I don't see how that's so hard with people. If you want to be the best at it, work harder.
Are differences between people. And that's an infinite number of differential advantages and
got longer
disadvantages.
hair.
And so I'll give you an example that I think is quite germane. So there's obviously disparity in wealth. Well, one of the best predictors of wealth is age. Older people are richer. Well, why? Well, obviously, because they've had their whole life to work.
Race.
So, yeah.
Even more.
Okay, but let me make the case with this for a minute. Okay, so then you might say, well, it's very unfair that the old people have the money. It's like, yeah, fair enough, buddy. But the young people have the youth. And if I'm serious,
so
and if you took the old person and said, look, you give me all your money.
Right.
I'm 18. You give me all your money, and I'll be 65, and you get to be 18 and broke.
But would you actually take that bargain? Because I wouldn't. Even though I'm punching 70 in the mouth, I still wouldn't do it because my head would still be my 18-year-old head, and I just couldn't take any more of that. Your stupidity, or at least my stupidity at that age, caused so much pain, unnecessary pain in my life, that I would rather be this age.
Well, that's another sign of differential advantage, is you've got the disadvantages of being old, but now you're not quite as stupid. So, that's right.
It's awesome not being stupid.
Yeah, right.
It's awesome. There's like that old commercial, priceless. It's priceless not being fucking stupid.
What do you think is better about you now than when you were young?
I'm not fucking stupid.
Well,
I don't make stupid mistakes. I don't make that. I mean, I'm sure people would say, oh, Bill, you said this the other week, and I meant it, and it wasn't horrible.
Well, frequency and intensity also matter.
Also, I'm mixing dangerous chemicals every week, okay? I'm playing third base okay? I'm going to get more hard-hit grounders. And, but personally, much more, even my personal life. I mean, men take a very long time to mature. I think a certain way in this world, and I speak a certain way, and I have a certain type of audience, apropos to your point before about what have I lost? Yeah, I have lost some audience. I have. The super woke left the building, and again, I don't miss them. People who are indoctrinated into one way of thinking and never really hear anything that gets into that bubble. That's not what I don't find that interesting or getting to reality. So I do have somewhat of a different audience. Anyway, so when I meet people who are across the board, I still meet the old super liberal folks who love it, and now I meet more, but I always met certain conservatives always were respectful of my show. They felt like this is a guy who is a liberal, but he is not afraid to criticize his own side. It just got more exponential because the left got crazier. Since about 2015 is when Jonathan Haidt says it began with the
that
Gen
seems
Z.
about right.
That's when trigger warnings and, what happened was we switched generations and the people...
Well, we had the social media technology and the cell phone come along.
Yes, that was a big part of it.
Yeah, it enabled the psychopaths fundamentally.
Yes. I mean, look, Elon Musk has definitely changed. You can't tell me he hasn't changed. Do I think he's evil? I don't. But I do think he's changed. And it's because of what he calls the woke mind virus. He thinks he lost his son. He talked to you about it, as I recall.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's also something you don't forget.
Well, I can't endorse where he's gone. I can't endorse voting for Trump in any possible way, and he's for Trump.
Wow.
And I think he did a great thing in taking over Twitter because
and so you think that the
Bill's confusing.
The
He wanted to
moderate
say it, but he
left
can't.
is recoverable.
Yeah.
You think the universities are recoverable?
No.
Why not? So how do
we
you
have
draw?
to go in there with a flamethrower.
Wow.
There's a big difference. I mentioned this on my show at the end of it last week. There is a big difference between Democratic politicians who generally are a sane crop. They're too timid, yes, about calling out their far left, but they are generally a sane crop. They're not for and would not get on the page with legislatively, for example, defunding the police.
They've been pretty useless on the trans butchery side of things.
Like I say, not standing up against that stuff. Exactly. You're right.
8,000. That's 8,000 double mastectomies of minors so far.
Compared to the worst Republican politicians, it's not even close. The Republican politicians are way worse.
Wow.
You could say, and I would agree with you if you did, that there are crazies on each side. I would add to that And in the Republican side, they have found a place for them. Unfortunately, it's in elective politics.
Wow. That was
But
crazy.
the people,
I don't agree with
not
that.
just the politicians on the far left, they're the ones who are so obnoxious, the ones who control culture, the ones in the media, the ones on what used to be on Twitter. That's what I was saying about Elon. He did a good thing. He drove the woke out of Twitter the way St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland. But then instead of creating what would have been like the internet version of what I think I'm doing, a place where you have a kind of a centrist view, where you have maybe, generally center left, but not afraid to call out the left, but also realistic about how dangerous the right is. But he didn't. He went full bore and just switched it all over to the super right. So now we just have Twitter's mirror image.
Let me ask you about
and
that.
it should have been Twitter, the middle place.
Well, some of this is a technical problem.
appears that way
and
because it was so
and
far
what I mean by that is that
man.
these new social communication technologies are landscapes that lack governance, and no one knows exactly how to do it, right? It's not like Mark Zuckerberg knows how to regulate Facebook. No, I'm serious. It's really okay. No, but
Totally.
there's some reasons for that too.
You're
is that-
right.
so the anonymity that the social media platforms allows the psychopathic narcissist types that are all a real danger to civilization. It allows them free reign, and they're amplified because they what would you say? They parasitize negative emotion, and they're amplified. And now it's the case that throughout history, when the psychopathic minority, which is about 4% of the population, gets the upper hand, that all hell breaks loose. This happens all the time. And what I see happening in the social media world is the rise of exactly those sorts of people. They'll say anything they can possibly imagine, regardless of political orientation, because they're just using that as a weapon to draw power and resources to themselves. And there's plenty of them. And they have come out in staggering numbers on the far right in the aftermath of October 7th. And it's a seriously ugly thing to see. But it's also, we're trying to solve
crazy.
that. So tell me what you think about this. We tried to solve that with Peterson Academy. So we built a social media network into it. Now, there's a couple of differences between it and Twitter. And the first difference, and I really want to know what you think about this, is
He's talking about that.
there's a price of entry.
What?
You have to pay $40 a month. So here's a hypothesis to be part of Peterson Academy and to participate in the social media network.
$40 a month.
Well, that's
nothing.
I know. We have the most progressive university in the world. High quality education
that's so
for everyone.
That's so
That's the
Canadian.
stuff on X.
Yeah. So
$40.
Plus,
Hold on.
university. It's like where they educate you about things.
But I thought they said he built something into X also, though. Was that him?
That's Elon.
Elon did that. I thought they
Elon
said
built the
that.
AI into X, the Grok.
Oh, I'm
He talked about it on his show with him when we reacted to it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Elon said I thought Jordan said he created it.
Nah, he don't do that stuff. No, he's like a psychologist, teacher.
He used to be a
educator.
professor and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Now he's like a public speaker, I think.
He does all types of
I'll stop it right there, guys. No, that was very interesting.
That's a great interesting.
I used to literally just put on Jordan Peterson and ride in the car, and like 70% of the time I have no idea what he was saying, but that 30% would be very valuable though. I'm being for real.
I'm not gonna lie, I definitely enjoyed this conversation. Bill Maher said some things that I was like, okay. Then he said some things that I didn't agree with, saying like the far right has more crazy politicians than the left. I don't know about that one, but yeah, no.
Universities though, that's an argument. That is a true thing. The universities are pushing far left extreme stuff.
Really? Did you feel like they did that when we were in Louisiana? I didn't feel that
No,
at all.
not at that
When
school.
I was in Kansas,
We're
though.
talking about I'm talking about mostly like the Harvards, Yales, those schools.
That's the reason
The
why they
elite
saying there's a
schools.
spectrum of gender, nigga.
At my old school, they had a LGBT calendar on the website. It was a little woke over there. All my teachers had pronouns.
Bro, my mic.
Yeah, I didn't have that problem at Barton or at University of Louisiana at Lafayette.
No, I didn't have that at all in Louisiana. I felt Louisiana was
down
probably
here.
the best school I've ever went to be honest.
Not down here.
In my opinion.
In the University of Louisiana, Lafayette, they had black, white,
Hispanic. They had everything.
I loved it there.
And we was not getting indoctrinated at that school. We was
wasn't
learning
at all.
real
Yeah,
education.
maybe that's it. Like y'all said on the last video, like I just don't see a lot of far right stuff all the time, bro.
You gotta realize though.
I
You
don't
gotta
see
realize
that
though.
shit.
What they're deeming far right. Like they call like people saying extreme stuff on Twitter. They'll call that far right. But I see that from both sides.
Definitely.
So I mean,
I think Twitter is in the middle now. I even see a lot of left stuff.
oh, I see a lot of left stuff. I see a lot of right stuff. I see a lot of extreme stuff. So I'm like, I don't understand why everyone acts like it's just so far right. I feel like maybe it's
you
more
see it
vocal
more.
now because the far right use the platform and the owner of the app is also in that platform. So maybe that's why you feel that way. But I think it's pretty fair. I think people go up on the left, people go up on the right.
No, that's
Well,
everything.
like Brock said, at first it was censored. So
No, and they
I
do-
can see
they
why
do.
people
And-
say.
when you
remember
say
that one
something
time-
crazy or extreme, they definitely do a good job of like policing that. Like
And they'll
so,
put the community notes.
yeah, no, they'll community know
Did you
you.
see what happened to the bro we reacted to? What's his name? Harry or Henry?
The
one
where
who
Bryce
he's
Hall was
the
trying to beat him
far
up.
left dude.
Yeah, you talking about the little
he
kid.
was arguing with Bryce Hall. He was saying, "I don't get paid by the Democratic Party," and then Bryce Hall posted the receipts of him like getting and then in the community notes it said that Henry is in fact paid by, and it's like explained how.
Oh yeah, them community notes be getting people. It's crazy.
No, but another thing Jordan
Feels
Peterson
weird,
said,
man.
he said you can't like it's kind of like the last video. The right can go too far with certain things. Like he said, how with the
I can
October
agree.
7th.
I didn't know. I don't see stuff like that. So that's why I was arguing. I'm arguing from my point of view.
Like
Yeah,
both
October
sides-
7th was insane.
That
bro.
had people,
tweaking.
talking
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. You know what October 7th is?
Yes.
I had to make sure.
Yeah,
sometimes.
a lot of people.
Halloween, stupid ass.
Yeah, man, make sure.
It's crazy though. They deem that
sure.
they deem that far right no matter what side you're on. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I've seen what they're deeming
Look,
far right.
all I'm thinking is Laura Lomer or whatever you say her name is. Her saying that immigrant thing, that 2,000
That
immigrants
is
should have
fucked
died.
But people are saying things like that
Exactly.
on Twitter.
If people say something like that,
more
that's too far
popular,
right.
and
They
people
are.
are finding problem. That's why he said the woke people have been
See,
driven
I've
off.
never seen stuff like that at all.
Really.
Ever.
Wow.
stuff like that.
I see that
So
all the time.
I see it all the time.
I didn't
You
even
don't
know
see
it got
that.
that far. I'm
don't
thinking
see
their
that.
far right is
No.
January 6th. I didn't think about Laura Loman saying 2,000 immigrants should have died and 2,000 more should die. Like I didn't
That
think
was
about
years ago, too.
See, I've never seen that before. So if it's people on the right that are claiming MAGA and and they're saying stuff like that, I could definitely see the problem with that. For
see,
sure.
yeah. That's
so
why I was
both
just-
sides didn't. Yeah,
That's why I think
they need to call it
the
truth.
best thing to do. Like Jordan Peterson said, admit this, that. But that's the problem.
Nobody's
That is the
gonna admit
biggest problem, though. That's where I got that when I said that. A lot of things I say from him. He said, "Oh, it's easy to identify," because he said that before on an old one. He said, "It's easy to identify on the right when people go too far." You know, they can say you're Hitler. You're
for sure.
That's
That's
when you
wrong.
went too
For
far.
sure.
Okay, but when on the left does society acknowledge that you went too far?
Well, I just don't understand
They
why
never
people
do.
are not like realizing they're in
never
that.
do.
They're almost
exactly.
in the
That's
sense.
a good point.
almost
Like
in the
Harry, he
sense-
gonna sit there and lie.
I
Hey,
think,
why
yeah.
did Harry just sit there and lie? You know
Yeah.
you're getting paid by the Democrats. So
Yeah.
why sit there and lie? That's why.
Because-
And then Bill Maher gonna
yes.
sit people on the left. Oh, he knows some
Yes.
politicians on the left.
Yes.
That's too far. That's better than too far politicians on the right. So let's compare that. Maybe MTG. People probably think MTG
I
too
don't know,
far,
bro.
They
I
think
feel like the
Tucker-
left. I
Tucker-
feel like the left is too far. They
Tucker,
trying
they
to
say
bring.
Tucker.
They're trying to bring illegals here, take our guns, and have drugs, and allow people to take drugs on the street while trying to tell kids to mutilate
understand,
themselves
we understand.
and trying to
No,
promote
see, you explaining
parents
that
not
to
to
us.
teach
You
their
don't do that.
kids
We
no more.
understand.
I'm just
We
saying
understand.
that
We
sounds too
understand.
extreme to me.
No, we understand. Because there's certain okay, this is too far, this is too far, this is too far. That we would
They got
say.
too many strikes
But
for
the
me.
problem is society does not acknowledge when the left has gone too far.
I think society is. I think the people that's in
Honestly, not.
charge.
This
Are,
is 50-50.
I feel like the people that's
It's
in charge are
50-50.
the ones that's saying that.
No,
The
people,
love, you talking
other
the
people
media?
are saying that too.
I'm saying the people that's in the
I
house,
don't know.
the senators. and
We
stuff.
are technically, because the media is so powerful, bro. We don't know if they didn't push the propaganda, how much of the world would probably be, or not the world, the United States would be conservative. We actually don't know.
We don't. But
So that's why I was saying
but
that
that's gonna
you know,
happen. That's happened.
But
They've
y'all
been-
saying the right pushing brainwash content too, and I don't agree. I definitely think that they're pushing
He-
the
he
propaganda,
just
but I just
admitted
feel like
it.
it's just not. They're not going as far as just sitting there blatantly doing 50%
No,
of their content
it's what he
lies.
said. It's, look, because the problem is no one acknowledges when the left goes too far.
I agree.
It's easy to acknowledge it on the right, but no one acknowledges on the left, and
They're
that
not
is
gonna
the
point it out.
problem.
And that's
If
even
they-
on the media.
Yes.
Well,
So
they
that's why-
want men and women's sports, bro. So I don't
Yes,
know
that's
what is
clearly
far to
too
them.
far.
What is far
That's
to
what
these
I'm saying.
niggas?
It's clearly too far.
But
they're not
But we're not
acknowledging it, I guess.
acknowledging it like they do on the right. You see?
Yes. They're figuring out, but that's what I'm saying. I have friends that figure out a way to cope with it, or figure out a way to align with,
Because they
like,
can point to the
boxer,
far right.
the Olympic boxer.
They can point to the far right. They can say Hitler,
I know, but like
slavery, Jim Crow.
How come on
When
the
can
left
you point to
every
the left?
single
You can't,
time-
even though they do go too far, but you can't point to the things.
when an issue or a topic comes up, they figure out a way to align with themselves with that. I just don't feel like we're doing that all the
Well,
time.
they-
We'll say if Trump's wrong for
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that's the
and that
problem.
wasn't
If
right.
you argue with
But then-
someone like that, then it doesn't matter. You're arguing with
Yeah,
the
my
law.
friend sitting here figuring out a way to align himself that men could be women and women can be men, and then the boxing
Yeah, well, then you
Olympics
can't argue
wasn't
with
a man. Like,
You can't
oh,
argue with
y'all know, a lot of people on the left was saying that it wasn't a man.
Yeah,
like,
we still don't know,
I'm
I
like, how
guess.
are you aligning it? Like, we don't know. I'm like, yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
actually, she is a man because the actual head boxing.
I'm like,
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
it's ended.
XY,
XY,
man.
so it's
Dumb.
over. And
so
you
how
can't,
do
you
you
can't,
figure
you can't
out a way
argue
to
that.
align with that?
You
The
can't
only way
argue
to know
that.
is if they have a penis or not. That's the only way to know.
I don't know. Hey, though.
You don't even know with that nowadays.
Yeah, that's
Bill's
true.
definitely all over the place,
XY.
man. He's smoking weed and that man off the Hennessy, man.
I want to watch this.
I ain't
Though.
gonna lie, I
Are there
definitely
two
think-
parts to this?
I don't think Bill be pandering now, no, man.
No, he says what he
definitely
thinks.
does.
No, he says what he thinks. I think I like
That's
the
why I
fact.
can respect
I like the fact
You
that
can be on the
he-
left, but if you
he's-
say what you think, I respect.
Yeah,
it.
no, the fact that he's definitely left and he criticizes his side and he stands on the fact that he's left, I respect that. I don't understand. I would like him to explain to me personally. I've never seen why he doesn't like Trump so bad.
Yeah.
He thinks Trump's like, he kept saying he's a monstrosity and whatnot. I'm like, damn, he's that bad to you? I want to know,
I don't know.
why he thinks that. 'Cause
Well, he probably gotta get paid.
But listen though,
Probably
he
paid.
grew up, you know, around the time Trump was really like becoming Trump, you know what I'm saying? So he really saw all this transpire. I feel like when we really start paying attention to Trump, he was running for president type shit, you know what I'm saying? So I want to know why, like if he saw the lead up and people didn't hate Trump before he ran for president, why do you think he's so bad now that he's ran for president? If nobody was saying that same thing before then.
Yeah, he's a head case.
Well, he's kind of, Bill probably still bought paid for a little bit.
Well, duh. Yeah, he's been on TV for like 20 years.
So, like,
He's
he
been on
gonna
TV for
admit,
like
he gonna like,
50 years, really.
He gonna like,
But it does show he does have free reign because he will go against the typical narrative that they push.
He said he stands up to the woke mob. I've seen him
I
stand
think
up
he
a little
believes
bit.
what he says, but maybe
He thinks
He still got- he's probably
definitely
still
believes
got-
what
he
he
just
says.
happens to be paid for it because that's what our case is. We say, but we happen to live off of it.
But I feel like he still kind of don't like Trump. Like,
He don't like Trump.
like,
we
he
know
probably-
he don't like Trump. We
but
just
he
say he don't
probably-
like
I
Trump.
feel like, you know,
You think he does like Trump?
yeah, I mean to say he does because
I don't
why
think
would
he
he
does.
agree with his policies? But
Well, I
you
feel
know,
like when
don't want to vote for him.
I feel like when you're bought and paid
I don't
for,
think he agrees with a
I feel
lot.
like
He doesn't like the right policies.
I feel
not
like the
necessarily
term when
his.
you're bought and paid for, that means you're paid to
Lie.
push a certain way.
He doesn't agree with the
I
policy.
don't think he's pushing a certain way. I think he's saying what he thinks.
I do too.
I think
Well-
he's built his brand up for saying what he thinks. I think he's on the liberal network and he's a liberal.
liberal. Yeah.
So that's why he's a liberal. But I think he agrees. I think he believes everything he
has
says.
said before. Well, I'm not undertaxed.
He did.
I don't know I don't know what Bill thinks, man. He's a head
He
case.
give me Stephen A.
Let us know what y'all
Yeah.
think, guys.